All right, I got an article for you today from the Daily Mail. MAGA star's marriage on rocks after best sex ever with Christian podcaster mistress who shot to fame by railing against premarital relations. Yeah, so it's a sad world out there. You have to wonder what the husband of this woman who railed against premarital sex thinks when he sees this. We're going to get into this article and explain what's really going on here so that this title makes sense. It's really sad. A MAGA influencer went into meltdown claiming his wife and kids were kidnapped just as his cheating with a young underling who rails against sex before marriage exploded online. So there you go. That's what happened. His underling who rails against sex before marriage, who he was having an affair with. Elijah Shaffer, 32, posted an alarming series of tweets that shocked his nearly 900,000 followers and prompted frantic calls among conservatives. I do not know where my wife and kids are, and I cannot get a hold of them. They are filed as missing persons. They have gone missing, he wrote. Well, she probably took the kids and left you because you were cheating. That's kind of how it works. Last enforcement confirms someone in my household set me up. They planted drugs and said I was a criminal. This will be a public trial by the FBI. Shaffer has been married to his wife Kezia since 2019 after they met on Instagram, and she moved to the US and have two sons aged 2 and 15 months. Yeah, well, Kezia, did you get your citizenship? Probably. At least you have a green card, right? You got what you wanted out of the situation. Kids and the ability to access the United States. I'm sure that's all he really wanted. But his meltdown led to salacious claims about his personal life being leaked online. The sources close to him revealed even more disturbing details to the Daily Mail. Shaffer allegedly had an affair with his 21-year-old employee, Sara Stock, a podcaster who shames women for having premarital sex. Well, hey, it wasn't technically premarital for Shaffer, right? What the hell? These people are so sick and twisted. It's like, what the hell are you doing? And it's always the ones who protest the loudest who do this stuff. He called her the best he'd ever had and flew her to his home in Florida under the guise of work trips where they had sex in his secret second apartment, sources said. If she's the best he's ever had, do you think that he was her first? So not only is she having an affair with this guy, then she's saying don't have sex outside of marriage, which she has apparently done with multiple people. Those close to him also detailed how he got drunk every night and tried to F anything that moved, and his shocking abuse of his wife. Elijah Shaffer, 32, went into meltdown on Twitter claiming his wife Kezia and 2 young sons were kidnapped. Yeah, so this is his wife. Well, here he is flexing. Shaffer is a leading voice in the constellation of moments of MAGA, pushing content that ranges from Christian nationalism to unapologetic racism and conspiracy theories. People have said to me like, oh, I don't want to get with a Christian girl because they're going to be, they're not going to be freaky. They're going to be just all chaste and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to get it with a Christian girl because they're going to be too freaky. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors when I'm not around. He says on X here, I do not know where my wife and kids are, and I cannot get a hold of them. They are filed as missing persons. They have gone missing. Last enforcement confirms, I think it's supposed to be law enforcement, confirms someone in my household set me up. They planted drugs and said I was a criminal. This will be a public trial by the FBI. Soon after Shaffer's first concerning tweet, he wrote a second claiming, I am a victim of serious targeted felony crimes. I am not suicidal. They have kidnapped my family. They have stolen my money. I will bring justice. I need the public to know I am in Virginia. The government is aware. I believe the FBI is trying to destroy my life and kill me. Okay. The third post claimed Americans are being targeted like this, but they don't have the platform to expose it. They are taking everything from me. I will show everything soon. It's bad. The Department of Homeland Security is working on this case as well. I am not taking any drugs. I would never kill myself. I am not home. I am safe. Sources who have spoken with Kezia said she and her sons were safe as well. Shaffer is a leading voice in a constellation of movements in MAGA and an ally, but also rival to neo-Nazi podcaster Nick Fuentes, whose popularity he is said to envy. He shot to MAGA fame in 2021 when he posted a photo of himself sitting at former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's desk during the January 6th insurrection. But rumors have swirled for months about his erratic behavior, heavy drinking and drug use, and claims of sexual harassment. Shaffer later posted that U.S. Customs had recovered his car along with a photo of him giving 2 thumbs up in front of the black BMW. I am the victim of a serious set of felonies, including gun theft. Someone from my inner circle is involved. This is an international probe, he claimed. I don't know who I pissed off. I have evidence and will prosecute. I can't say anything else. Okay? Shaffer also posted a bizarre video of himself aimlessly wandering around a flooding hotel, sounding like he was under the influence. No one believes me that my life doesn't make any sense right now, he moaned. As his followers and other MAGA figures scrambled to reach him and confirm that Kezia and the boys were safe, details on his private life exploded online. Notorious far-right provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos, who most recently served as a spokesman for the rapper Kanye West, posted screenshots of a conversation between himself and Shaffer, urging him to go to rehab. He warned Shaffer that all the stories about his bad behavior would soon end up online and he should make a full confession and apology. Yeah, that's a good idea if you're like cheating and using drugs and stuff. Drug addiction is the only card you have left to play. If Shaffer wanted his career to survive, he wrote on Tuesday afternoon, you have to be able to blame it on something else besides you and yourself. What do you mean? Shaffer replied, but I got my car back, so that's good. Shaffer then read Yiannopoulos' earlier messages and told him he was going through some tough things and asked for help. Your tweets have been so erratic and insane that people are asking if you killed your family, Yiannopoulos replied. Yiannopoulos advised him to get off the internet for 2 weeks, go to rehab, and be very, very effing nice to your wife. More sordid claims have since emerged about Shaffer, which 3 sources close to the MAGA influencer confirmed to the Daily Mail, and revealed even more disturbing details from behind his curated public image. It says, my car was stolen and was recovered by U.S. Customs. I'm a victim of a serious set of felonies, including gun theft. Someone from my inner circle is involved. This is an international probe. I don't know who I pissed off. I have evidence and will prosecute. I can't say anything else. So this is what he's been going through. Affair with the 21-year-old underling. So here's really the important part, because these are the people who claim that they are not woke, just being on the progressive side of things. The most damaging among the claims about Shaffer's personal life was his 5-month affair behind his wife's back last year. Shaffer is said to have cheated on Kezia with podcaster Sara Stock, now known as Sara Stock, who worked for his media company Rift TV when she was just 21. Stock was at the time dating her now husband, Will Setka, 28, a political organizer at the Community Action Network, a charity that helps Americans escape poverty. Look, if your wife is online, if your wife has a job, those are red flags that you should be considered. If your wife is going to keep working after she's married to you. Obviously, I know in our current economic climate, a lot of times that has to happen. But if your wife is like, I don't want to work, I want to be at home with you, I want to be at home with the kids, but I have to work, I get it. So it's one thing for her to say that. It's another thing for her to say, I'm going to maintain a job and a career. That's it. I don't care if we're married. I don't care how much money we make. I have my own money. I have my own life. And then if a woman's going online, posting about herself online, over online, then, she's being content for people to see. And a lot of those people are men. And especially if she's attractive, then you're playing a dangerous game there. The alleged affair ended immediately after Setka proposed in August. 3 sources close to Shaffer told the Daily Mail. They got married in January, and Stock changed her name to Sara Stock online. A recorded call between Stock and another man made late last year explained that she and Shaffer had sex the night they met at the Conservative Political Action Conference last February. There you go, guys. And women will do this crap. Women will pull this garbage on you. How they give their husband maintenance sex, and that's it. Or maybe a little bit more than maintenance sex. No double monkey backflips. But yeah, here she is, this woman who's like, oh, don't have premarital sex. It's bad. It's bad for you. It's evil. It's wrong. It's a sin. By the way, I just met this stranger, and within a few hours, I was sleeping with him. I was having sex with him. Women are not the innocent gender out there. They're not sugar and spice and everything nice. They're not these sweet little angels that men corrupt. I tell you these stories all the time. I was waiting tables at a mall when I was in my early 20s, and one night this woman in her 40s came in who was not taking care of herself, but she was like, you and me, let's go tonight. I want you now. I want you in me. Begging me for it. I'd never seen this woman before in my life. Ever. I was at an animation convention in LA. Got in line at Starbucks before I left because I wanted something for the road. A girl in front of me was really cute. Started chatting with her. By the time we got our drinks, she's like, so you spend the night tonight? That's all it took. 10 minutes. I was at a coffee shop where I live here, and a cute girl walked in. At least I only saw her from behind. It's like, damn, rocking body. She looks awesome. Of course, she turned around, and she was not so young, but I was working on my social skills then, so I made some comment to her, and she sat down and talked to me for half an hour, and she's like, hey, I just live right down the street. Let's go. It's like, no, I've never followed through on any of these. I was with a group of my fellow employees. We went out. There was in my hometown, one gay bar. It was a notorious, gay bar in town. There was only one, right? Being from Northern Illinois back in those days. One of my female coworkers started hanging off this girl who was at the bar, so a woman who was at the bar, and I went up and started chatting with them. And the girl that she was hanging off of, the girl that she had just met at that bar that night, never seen before in her entire life, was like, hey, why don't the three of us go back to my place? I didn't join them. And I'm not the one out here saying, hey, don't have premarital sex. So if you protest about this premarital sex stuff, always the ones who protest too much. Back to the article. Stock claimed she was drunk after Shaffer gave her booze along with Benadryl to help clear up a rash. Okay, so you were drunk for 5 months? You were on Benadryl for 5 months? What the hell? It obviously was my fault too, what happened between us, but I felt like it was like he got me very intoxicated. I don't even remember most of it, she said. Yeah, for 5 months, you don't remember that. Let me see here. So Benadryl, the active ingredient. Diphenhydramine is the active ingredient that makes you sleep in Benadryl. Like, you can just get diphenhydramine right here. It's $9 for 600 tablets on Amazon. This is very safe to take. It will make you fall asleep if you've never taken it before. Holy crap. The first time I took diphenhydramine, I slept for 10 hours and woke up only once in that 10-hour period, which is very unusual for me. It'll make you sleep, but if you're passed out from this drug and alcohol, you would have to have drank a lot of alcohol for him to stick it in you without you realizing it. Because you'll wake up if somebody touches you when you're on Benadryl, when you're on diphenhydramine. So, she's lying here when she says, unless she was very drunk, so blackout drunk, but then she wouldn't remember what happened anyway. She wouldn't know that she had sex with him on that night. Ridiculous. We got it right here. Shaffer is said to have cheated on Kezia with podcaster Sara Stock. This is Sara Stock right here. Pretty cute. She's a pretty cute girl. Now known as Sara Stock, who worked for his media company, Rift TV, when she was just 21. Dude, can you imagine reading this article as your husband now going, you said you were a virgin and you were saving yourself from me. You made me wait. How long did you make me wait for this? Well, you were off doing this stuff? Look, she's got a guy's arm around her here. Who's that guy? Is that her husband? And this girl looks like she's smoking a blunt and he's smoking a cigar. What sort of stuff is she doing? What kind of woman is she? Look, this sweet, innocent little angel. I'm saving myself for marriage. You should too. It's bad to have sex before marriage. Out getting dug out by how many different men? How many different men doing this girl before she got married, even though she's lying and saying she's a virgin? Stock's alleged affair with her boss is particularly ironic, as she spent the past year being a vocal opponent of premarital sex and shaming women who do it. Yeah, look in the mirror there. It's always the ones who are like, oh, you're a terrible person. You do this X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, look at yourself. I was like breaking out in like a rash. And so he's like, oh, like get some Benadryl. It'll help with the rash. And now I'm thinking back, and that's probably why I blacked out, because he like intentionally gave me Benadryl and like sent me a bunch of shots and stuff. You don't have to drink the alcohol. You don't have to take the Benadryl. What the hell? There's nobody forcing you to do this. This is all a lie. She probably had a couple of shots in an hour, 2, maybe 3 over 3 hours or something. 3 over 2 hours. And then took a Benadryl. It's like, oh, I'm feeling sleepy. And then he plowed her. And then she fell asleep and woke up the next morning and then did it again. Because believe me, if you're a nympho like she is, that's the way it works. And like, obviously, it's stupid on my part to go along with that, but at the same time, he obviously knew what he was doing. There is no suggestion any sex between the pair was non-consensual. Right, exactly. So if she's blacked out, it's non-consensual. Stock claims Shaffer told her he was in an open marriage, which she believed at the time, but later discovered wasn't true. Okay, if a girl comes to me and says, I'm in an open relationship with a man, I want to be with you. I'm not messing around in your man's relationship. That's not fair to him. It's not okay. If you're with this guy who's like struggled his whole life probably to find a woman, and finally he's decided to spend his time with this one, share his life with this one, why would I want to go mess that up for him? It's not okay. He was like, my wife doesn't care and she lets me run free or whatever, she explained in the recorded call. She doesn't care because I take such good care of her and she just lets me be a man and do what I want and blah, blah, blah. At the time, just like the way he acted and everyone acted around him and the things he would say around girls, it almost like seemed like that was true. Stock said, I don't want anything to do with him. Shaffer, oh yeah, you wanted a lot to do with him for 5 months there while he was dicking you down. Freaking, just not a good person. Stock idolized Charlie Kirk and posted this photo of them together after he was murdered. Yeah, that's the face, that's the female face of TradCon. And it's all lies. She quit Rift TV right after America Fest, a Turning Point USA convention held in Phoenix on December 18th to 21st. According to colleagues, it ate me up for a long time. I feel very bad about it still, she said in the recording. Yeah, I'm sure you just feel terrible about it. That wedding ring helps, doesn't it? I'm not a slut. Like, I mean, that's a horrible, horrible thing, but it's not like I am sleeping around or have been. Oh, really? Like, we can trust any word that you say. Let's look up the word slut, the definition. Okay. Here we have it right here. Disparaging an offensive person, especially a woman who is sexually promiscuous. Informal, a person with a seemingly insatiable but often undiscerning desire to do or have something specific. A book. Okay, yeah, that could be the archaic, a prostitute, a harlot, an immoral or dissolute woman, a dirty, slovenly woman. Let's scroll down and see the rest of the definitions. Yeah, and it's a picture of her, of course. Yep, that's what I thought. Stock said she planned to keep it a secret from Setka and her friends. Well, imagine that. Telling the man on the call, I'm not telling anyone. Though she only admitted to the initial sexual encounter in the recording, one of the sources told the Daily Mail she confessed to many other times in other conversations. Stock then pushed on what the source heard about her affair, admitting to having sex with Shaffer on several trips to Florida and elsewhere under the guise of business trips for Rift TV. Yeah, you're going out. She's flying out to Florida to meet her boss for, quote, business. That's what she's telling her fiance. And meanwhile, she's getting dug out. Gross. And she's probably having threesomes because we saw the pictures there with other women. Other sources close to Shaffer said the pair frequently had sex, sometimes multiple times a week, including after company events. They saw each other and traveled numerous times together. She would come out to Florida a week at a time, every so often, one said. If your wife is traveling without you, that better be an essential part of her job. But, you know, you got to expect that if she is traveling without you, she's having sex on those trips. I worked with a guy and his girlfriend traveled for work. I'm like, we let her get away with that and let her just go on these trips and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, well, do you think that maybe she's cheating on you? And she's like, I hope that she is. I'm like, what, are you crazy? She's like, I hope she gets what she wants out of life. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. He and Sarah met in New York City one time. He took her out for some fancy date to give her an example of how she should be treated, and also dropped a ton of cash on new clothes for her. Elijah would describe Sarah as the best he's ever had. He's a married man doing all this stuff for a woman. Now, why is he doing this for her instead of at home with his wife and kids? Well, I can guarantee, oh, look at this. 3 guys, 3 girls. I wonder if it broke down one-on-one in Paris. Maybe it did, but maybe he got all 3 of these girls. This is her husband here. Why is Shaffer here? Not at home with his wife and kids? Getting it? Because his wife is probably not putting out. I'm not saying that he should be cheating. I'm not saying that's a justification necessarily, but if you go into this marriage, ladies, expect that you're going to have to give it to your husband, or else he's going to find somebody else to give it to him. And you have to give it to him as often as he wants it, basically. One way or another. You got 3 holes, you figure it out. They would FaceTime all the time, too, and it was really weird because Elijah would flex on the phone and, like, put his arm over his head so he could show off his muscles, another said. All right, I guess if that works on her, I mean, I guess do what works. He was always looking for excuses to take her to the beach so he could be around her without a shirt on and impress her. Setka was kept in the dark primarily by Stock, claiming her trips to Florida and evening liaisons with Shaffer were entirely work-related, the sources explained. Multiple sources described a time Setka even paid for a taxi for Stock to go to Shaffer's hotel at night because she claimed they needed to work on something. Shaffer allegedly used the same excuse on Kezia to explain why he was spending so much time with Stock and her trips across the country. 2 of the sources explained that Shaffer recently rented a second property in addition to the couple's home in Boca Raton, where he would stash Stock and other women to cheat with them. So he's doing this with multiple women because he can't get enough from one. And it sounds like that this Stock woman would be willing to put out a lot more, but they just didn't live near each other. So they said Shaffer even took his sons to the apartment and used the eldest one as an alibi. His kids are little. They're 1 and 2. What? I don't know how he's doing that. Man, that's weird though. He'd get the kids to lie for him. Like he'd get like the toddler to say, "Oh, we went to the office," but really he was taking them over to the apartment and said, "Oh, that's what he's doing." Kezia confided in one of the sources that she eventually found out about the second rental when her husband got sloppy, and it contributed to her leaving him. Wow. Look at this. Look how sweet and innocent she is. Perfect little angel. She's a demon. It's going to burn in hell. Stock has also insisted she was a virgin on multiple podcasts, and according to colleagues, made Setka wait until we're married, all the while having sex with Shaffer, and who knows who else. Who knows who else? She had long suspected Shaffer was having affairs, but didn't know, this is Shaffer's wife, had long suspected Shaffer was having affairs, but didn't know about Stock until last week, the source revealed. Kez found out about Sara with the rest of the world, they said. Stock's dalliance with her boss is particularly ironic as she spent the past year being a vocal opponent of premarital sex and shaming women who do it. Real Christian men want to get married because sex outside of marriage is a sin, regardless of whether or not you've committed the sin before, she tweeted last January. I have known Christian men who are like, yeah, I'm not having sex outside of marriage. Another tweet read, sex is bad for the soul outside of its intended purpose. Outside of its intended purpose. So the intended purpose of it is to make babies. So you're only going to be having sex when a woman is ovulating? Okay. Stock also insisted she was a virgin on multiple podcasts, and according to colleagues, made Setka wait until they were married, all the while having sex with Shaffer. The oblivious Setka proposed to Stock in August, and she posted a photo of the engagement ring on her hand with the caption, "I won." Well, if he has any sense about him, you're going to lose real quick. I think the engagement came because Setka suspected that Elijah was pursuing her because it was a very quick, like all of a sudden, like she was engaged and it was out of nowhere. One of the sources said, Stock converted to Catholicism in April, sharing a photo of herself with the priest who administered the conversion ritual. After they married in January, they went on a honeymoon to Europe that included a trip to the Vatican where they had their marriage blessed by Pope Leo XIV, as any couple can do if they show up at the right time. Oh, okay. Oh, this is the guy who converted her to Catholicism. Didn't realize you can't convert demons, so all right. A photo showed Stock in a white wedding dress alongside Setka as they spoke with the Pope. Highly recommended getting your marriage blessed by the Pope, she wrote. Stock and Setka now live together in a 3-bedroom house in San Pedro, California. Setka did not return phone calls from the Daily Mail. Stock did not outright deny the affair as the salacious claims spread online, instead making a vague apology on Wednesday. A lot of what has been said about me is completely untrue. That being said, there are mistakes, unwise decisions I have made that I deeply regret, she wrote. I apologize to everyone who has been scandalized by this. Please pray. Logging off now. Maybe you should be apologizing to your husband and then offering up to leave him forever and not take a dime of his money after your betrayal. Stock deleted all her social media accounts hours later. She could not be reached for further comment. Oh, so she's no longer online. I highly recommend getting her marriage blessed by the Pope. And here she is with that smug look on her face like, haha, you fool. Dang, what a evil woman. Marriage scandal and the downward spiral. Shaffer's life was collapsing long before his meltdown and the public exposure of his alleged affair with Stock. Elijah has been unraveling for months. This week shouldn't be seen in isolation. It's just the bottom of the downward spiral. A source close to him said, the primary reason for his emotional state, is said to be the failure of his marriage after his wife had enough of his cheating, drinking, and verbal abuse. I never understood why a man would be cheating and drinking and verbally abusing his wife and then be upset when she left. I never understood that. I mean, if you're able to cheat, you don't need a wife. I don't know. Kezia is from Tweed Heads in Australia, where she studied counseling and moved to Wales in February 2017 to work at a boarding school. She met Shaffer on Instagram sometimes before 2018 while they were living on different continents. Kezia either Australia or the UK. Kezia eventually moved to the US and got a green card to stay in the US after their marriage in 2019. Records showed. She appeared to share at least some of his right-wing views and featured in numerous Swift TV podcasts with Shaffer in 2021 and 2022, ranting about COVID restrictions, promiscuity, and pornography, and social justice warriors. So she sounds like she's got a good head on her shoulders, but she got in with this wrong guy. And I'm imagining she got in with him because she feels like, oh, we have similar views, he makes lots of money, and I can get a green card. Making decisions that are going to benefit her, no doubt, but she chose a guy who's not going to treat her right. Either that or else she wasn't treating him right. And so he's like, I'm going to get it somewhere else. That's probably what happened. He's just like, look, I need access to your body and you're not giving that to me. I don't know what to tell you. Their eldest child was born in Tweed Heads in March 2023 and the other in October 2024 at Boca Raton, Florida, where they lived at the time. Let's see if we can listen to this, him talking to his wife here in this little recording.
Please. I'm trying to, like, god damn it. You're being such a I'm like literally like, oh hey, you know what? You had a couple beers. Oh, why do you lie to me? Why do you lie to me? You know why? You're a bitch. And you need to shut the up. How about that? Because when I talk to you the truth, you become a and I don't want to be around you. Oh, I'm not a yeah, maybe you're not. You act like one. How about that? Oh, well, you want to show yourself to me? Yeah. How about this? I can handle your divorce me, take my son, do what the you want. How about this? Shut the up because I'm your husband and I'm trying to support you and be your husband.
That really wasn't that bad. They're having a fight is what it sounds like. They're having a spat. I don't know if you just like walked up to her and started talking to her like that, then that's a different story. But if they're having a disagreement about something and she's being insufferable and he pulls that stuff out to get her to be reasonable, that's just, that's just normal in relationships. Not really extreme at all. Shaffer posted photos of himself visiting with Kezia's family in Australia, but last October complained he was missing their son's first birthday. So sad I couldn't be with them in Australia due to being banned for the time being, he wrote. Shaffer claimed he wasn't allowed to enter the country for political reasons. Hard to be separated from the little kids when I didn't do anything illegal or immoral to get blocked. The politics there are insane, he wrote. Shaffer wouldn't have had a warm reception even if he could get into Australia, according to a source close to him. They have been sleeping in separate beds for over a year. For the last 6 months, he was constantly complaining about her not wanting to sleep with him. They said, okay, that explains everything that I've been saying. She doesn't want to have sex with him. He's going to get it from somewhere. Look, when I was a personal trainer, I had a client come to me she's a married woman. She's like, hey, look, I haven't had sex with my husband in 8 years. Do you think you could introduce me to a new type of workout? One that involves wearing less clothing? And I declined. I was not attracted to her at all, but I don't want to mess around with somebody who's married. But yeah, if you're not getting it from your spouse, you're going to get it somewhere else, or at least try to get it somewhere else. That's how it works. One example of the verbal abuse Kezia was allegedly subjected to frequently was a disturbing rant recently recorded last year. The shocking 3-minute rant included Shaffer repeatedly calling his wife a dumb B and an effing W, whore, not witch, in response to her complaints about his drinking. Okay, that was only a 45-second clip, so if there's more to that we're not aware of, and she's like, hey, I wish you wouldn't drink so much, and he goes off on her, yeah, that's okay. Not acceptable. But I mean, I don't know what's going on in their relationship. Who knows? She might be being abusive to him. This is the thing. Is like everybody wants to say, oh, the men are abusive. Look at the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. It was all 100% her, and he was not abusive at all. But in a lot of cases, the women are being abusive, and the men then are abusive back to defend themselves. Let me see here. It says, why do you lie to me? He said in a mocking, high-pitched tone. Then returning to his own voice, I know why, because you're a effing whore, and you're a bitch, and you're gonna shut the F up. How about that? I can handle your ass. Effing divorce me. Take my son. Do what the F you want. How about this? Shut the F up, because I'm your husband and I'm trying to support you and be your husband. Shaffer also called her a fake complainer with fake problems and a effing stupid see you next Tuesday, while insisting he loved her, but that listening to her complaints made him angry. Yeah, women are testing. She's testing him. She's complaining about this. He needs to put her in her place, but he's doing it too forcefully, and he's failing the test. If you want to put her in her place and not fail the test, then you just gotta be like, okay, whatever, and then go about your business. And now if she's complaining and has a legitimate complaint, then you can address that. But if she's just being insufferable and just like go about your business and ignore her. Two sources said the last straw was when Kezia's brother visited for a few months last year, and after seeing the state of the marriage, helped her leave. They explained that a member of Kezia's family, including her mother, sister, and brother, flew in for 3 months at a time to help with the children. They all knew what Elijah was like and that she was home alone all the time with the newborn and the toddler, a source said. Her brother was watching Elijah cheat on his sister, mistreat her, gaslight her, lie, and be a drunkard, and he just had enough. Kezia's friend said Shaffer's wife forgave him for allegedly groping a colleague at the Blaze in 2021, which led to him being fired and his behavior temporarily improved. They went out to Australia with her family. He was doing well, he was clean, and he came back to America, and then he just picked up his old bull crap. Again, drinking, cheating, his friend said. Okay. The friend said Kezia suspected Shaffer was cheating for years, but wasn't able to leave him. She just accepted that this was what her life was, they said. She was trying to get him to move to Tennessee or Texas away from the girls he was sleeping with because she thought it would make things better. Well, he's sleeping with a girl in Florida, and no matter where you go, there's girls, right? I don't know how that's going to change anything. The problem is Elijah. He follows himself wherever he goes. He's the problem. His wife is the best woman in the world. She is just amazing, okay? She's a stay-at-home mom. She didn't work or anything, and I think he liked it that way. Like, he kept her. She couldn't leave him because he was the breadwinner. She'd never had a job. She stayed home and raised his babies, and he just was gone all the time, out at strip clubs, getting drunk, hooking up with people. And she's such a wonderful woman, such a wonderful person who didn't deserve it. Court documents showed Kezia was living in a rented house in Frisco, Texas. The source said she filed for divorce in December, but the records are not public. She is scared and worried about the custody of her children. He will attack her for anything that comes out, another source said. The only thing she cares about is full custody, to see him as little as possible, and no one trusts this guy with the kids. I'm wondering why this behavior came out after they got married. Was he not a drunkard before they got married? Was he not cheating before they got married? Was he not verbally abusive before they got married? I don't know. I mean, those things are something you need to be aware of. Also, he is also trying to threaten her back into a relationship. This is going to bankrupt us. You're under demonic influence. Think about the kids, that sort of stuff. Kezia's friends said several family members flew out to support her, but would soon have to go back to Australia, and it was unclear what happened then. She was saying that she's gonna be all alone very soon, her friend said. He cut off all her bank accounts and took all their money and left her with nothing. Yeah. What is this here? Elijah Shaffer threatens his wife after she flees with their kids. Whoa. We gotta see this one.
And I want my sons to know that I was there for them and that I love them and that I'll never leave them. I will never forsake them. I will never abandon them, and I would die for them. And I want them to know that I will support them, that I will be there for them, and that I will fight for them and for their place in this world. And I'm not going to go down without a few shots fired. Figuratively, of course, we're saying, but physically too, if needed, and that's sort of the mentality I have, is like, these are my kids. And there's like, mama bear, you. What about dad? What about dad? Don't with my kids. Don't with my income. Don't with my ability to take care of my kids. I'll fuck you up.
Well, if you're a drinking, whoring abuser, Dad, you lose rights that way. You get zero custody that way. Shaffer responded to Kezia's divorce filing by seeking his own separation in Florida, apparently to make it look like he initiated it. Yiannopoulos warned Shaffer on Tuesday that his strategy made him look insultingly childish and stupid. The standard divorce petition and supporting documents seen by Daily Mail called the marriage irretrievably broken and asked for 50-50 custody of the kids. Okay. If it's irretrievably broken and he's an abuser, I don't think so. 4 days later, Shaffer returned from a long hiatus from Rift TV with a segment complaining about Trump pulling immigration and customs enforcement from Minnesota. But the video disintegrated into Shaffer moaning about his failed marriage and pathetically pleading with Kezia. Wow, this guy is a wreck. I think Yiannopoulos might be right. He might need rehab. If somebody else is telling you need rehab, he's probably getting to rehab. I'm not going to go down without, a few shots fired. So we just saw that video. Shaffer eventually deleted his unhinged Twitter posts from last Monday and made another post referencing the divorce. My wife divorced me and took my kids, and I have no idea where they are. I'm sober. I'm sad, he wrote. They're probably in Australia. I mean, that's where I would go to get away from here. I have good support. Thank you for everyone supporting me during this rough season. I'll get through it. Shaffer later deleted this post as well. There's his wife. Do we want to go through the rest of this? This is a long article. I don't know if we... Yeah, this is just a long article. And I can leave a link to it, but the thing is, you have to have Daily Mail Plus to read it. It's a Daily Mail Plus article. I'll leave a link to it down in the comments. Daily Mail Plus, you can get a free trial and read the rest of it if you're so interested. But, okay, this guy's marriage obviously fell apart. Who was abusing who? Who started it? Who initiated the abuse? I don't know. It could have been his wife. It could have been him. Either way, the marriage didn't work out because one or both parties is not good to the other. And he was cheating on his wife. So it sounds like he's probably the instigator of most of this stuff. I don't know. Some men just can't handle power. And it's always these jerks like this Elijah Shaffer guy who get all the women. Women love them. They just flock to these guys. Even though they claim they want a long-term relationship, but they don't. They just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun, right? As the song goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. You can find me on Rumble, and I will see you in the next video.